Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events shaping our world. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're focusing on the ongoing tensions in the Middle East, specifically the conflict between the US, Israel, and Iran. The situation has been escalating, with a ceasefire barely holding in place. We've seen reports of continued fighting between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, despite efforts to establish a lasting peace. The conflict has resulted in significant loss of life and damage to infrastructure. Meanwhile, the Strait of Hormuz remains a major point of contention, with Iran's control over the waterway giving them considerable leverage in negotiations. U.S. President Donald Trump has been applying pressure on Iran ahead of talks in Pakistan, where representatives from both sides are meeting to discuss a potential resolution. The American leader has stated that he expects the Strait of Hormuz to be opened pretty quickly and warned that if it doesn't happen, he could resume military action. The Pakistani government has played a crucial role in facilitating these talks, leveraging their close ties with multiple key players in the conflict. The city of Islamabad has been on high alert, with security measures in place to ensure the safety of all parties involved. As we move forward, it's essential to consider the complex web of relationships and interests at play. The US, Iran, Israel, and other regional actors all have their own agendas, making it challenging to predict a peaceful outcome. We'll continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into the world of politics and defense spending in our middle segment today. The British government is considering a significant increase in defense spending, with Prime Minister Starmer at the helm of this initiative. This move comes amidst growing tensions with Iran and criticism from U.S. President Trump, who has compared Starmer unfavorably to Winston Churchill. Now, let's take a closer look at the situation. Starmer's decision to potentially increase defense spending is seen as a strategic move to bolster national security and respond to emerging threats. However, this shift in policy may not sit well with all members of the Labour Party, who had hoped for a more left-leaning agenda focused on public services and workers' rights. It's also worth noting that Starmer's stance on defense spending is not entirely unexpected, given his previous commitments to fiscal prudence and tough policies on immigration. The question remains whether this new direction will be enough to quell criticism from within his own party and from external sources like President Trump. As we consider the implications of increased defense spending, it's essential to remember the historical context of such decisions. Neville Chamberlain, often maligned for his appeasement policy, also oversaw a significant rearmament effort in the lead-up to World War II. While the comparison to Churchill may be unfair, Starmer seems determined to learn from history and prepare Britain for the challenges of the present day. The path forward will undoubtedly be complex, with many factors at play. As we continue to monitor this developing story, one thing is clear: the conversation around defense spending and national security will remain a crucial aspect of British politics in the months to come. Welcome back to Concrete Block. Today, we're discussing the ongoing conflict between the US and Iran and its far-reaching effects on the global economy. The war has sent shockwaves through the energy market, causing fuel prices to skyrocket and sparking concerns about inflation. As we've seen, the central banks of several countries, including New Zealand, India, and South Korea, have held interest rates steady in response to the increased inflation risk. In the US, consumer sentiment has fallen to a record low, with Americans worrying about the impact of rising fuel prices on their financial situation. The conflict has also had a significant impact on global trade, with the Strait of Hormuz, a critical oil shipping route, being effectively closed by Iran. This has led to a surge in energy prices, which is being felt across the globe. In Europe, German industrial production has fallen unexpectedly, casting doubt on the region's economic recovery. Meanwhile, in Asia, China has exited factory deflation after over 3 years, thanks to rising energy costs. It's clear that the conflict between the US and Iran has significant implications for the global economy, and it's essential to stay informed about the latest developments. As we continue to monitor the situation, one thing is certain: the effects of this conflict will be felt for a long time to come. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.